Sharon, how you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Okay, I'm gonna grab my foam roller. Actually, I said one therapy ball and a bolster, but you have a foam roller, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Grab a foam roller, and also if you have yoga blocks, they're not mandatory, but I am going to cue this one movement that if you can put your feet up on blocks, it can be really helpful. It's for the low back. So grab your blocks, and then one massage therapy ball. I have this kind of medium one. I don't have the real small one. Yeah, that's perfect, Sharon. That's great. If you have different size balls, then the different size balls can be helpful just because you can, I've got my stuff in so many different places. You can go between, different size balls, but one ball is fine. Okay. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here we go. So, Jennifer, thank you for the response when I asked if there was anything anybody wanted to really focus on, and you had said low back. And the interesting thing is, let's lie on our backs and just we can talk and we can kind of rest while we do it. I like to put rest my head on the back of a foam roller just because I like that pressure back here. It just feels good. I like to gently rock my head from side to side. You could also just put your head on a bolster or a pillow, whatever makes you comfortable. This is head on the back of the bolster is a little bit more work, right? We're kind of digging in and putting some pressure on the fascia in the back of the base of the skull. I like that. So anyway, I don't typically do New Year's resolutions because I feel like I make enough sacrifices throughout the year with my nutrition and my dedication to all my health and wellness and all that, and I just don't like to put, I'm just not a resolution person. Anyway, this year, what I really decided to do was to practice what I preach. And although I teach fitness and I teach yoga and I teach stretch classes, I'm not consistent on my own daily basis with the stretching part, with what we're doing in this Tuesday class. And I started to play more golf, and what I noticed when I was playing golf was that about hole 15 or 16, my low back was really starting to ache, especially on my right side, and I have kind of a craggy right hip, which is just kind of an arthritic thing. There's nothing, I can't do physical therapy, it's just a degenerative, and it's mild. But anyway, I was really noticing that. So I was coming home and I was hopping on my therapy balls, or I was foam rolling, and all the pain and discomfort and tightness would go away. Well, what I've decided to do is just to kind of preempt that and work on this area every day, even if it's for 1 minute, or even if it's for 5 minutes. So the last time I played golf, before we left the house, I did the work that we're going to do later with the single ball, because I find that to be the most effective for this area of my low back that bothers me. And I played 18 holes and I didn't even think about it. So it really drives home the idea that we shouldn't wait for symptoms to treat symptoms, that we should really just kind of treat the body from a holistic standpoint and just try to stave it off so that sort of thing doesn't happen anymore. So that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to hop on the foam roller or the therapy balls every single day, 7 days a week, instead of just a 1 hour class once a week with you guys. Because that's pretty much where I was. I mean, unless somebody, was like, oh, can you do a session with me, or, whatever. So that's my New Year's resolution, is just to kind of do some of this fascia work and do this down regulation, foam rolling, and therapy work, and just kind of cruise around the body and look for little areas if I'm busy. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. It can just be like 5 minutes a time, which is fine. Okay. So we're going to work a lot on the spine today, and we're going to focus a lot on the middle of the spine and the lower spine, which is just going to hopefully get to that kind of wonky low back business that pretty much everybody could use help with. So let's roll over to one side and let's bring the foam roller to the top of your shoulders with your hips down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to explore the spine, and we're going to look and see if we can get like a little chiropractic adjustment, right? So your hips need to stay down here. So when you arch your spine back and you bend through your back, you don't want your hips to be elevated when you're on a foam roller. So interlace your hands, rest your head comfortably in your hands, and keeping your chin slightly tucked, arch back, look at the ceiling, and then come back up to your starting position. Then I'm going to lift my hips, I'm going to push with my feet, and I'm going to put my hips back down and see if I can get that roller to go about 1/2 to 1 vertebra down. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to lift my hips, push with my feet, put my hips back down, arch back, and lift. I already feel some tight spots in the back of mine. You might have to readjust your feet. Don't let your legs get too long. Arch back. And make sure you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. When we work on the foam roller, we want to be kind of gentle, but we want to totally breathe and relax. And you're going to get down. I have to readjust here. You're going to get down so that you're at the bottom of your rib cage, and it's going to be really kind of uncomfortable and hard to breathe. And we're going to stop there, okay? So now I want you to lift your hips. Keep your chin slightly tucked, engage your core, and now we're going to bend and extend the legs, and we're going to roll out that upper back. So I don't know if you guys got a little pop. I did not. Maybe because I'm making this a priority and I'm doing this every day, but it's literally exactly the same kind of a vertebra adjustment that you would be looking for. All right. So when our hips are lifted, we can lift and lower our hips, right? So that our body is kind of like in a plank. We can bend and extend our legs and just kind of roll. You can bring your elbow points together and tuck your chin and kind of rock your shoulders to the left or rock your shoulders to the right. We're just trying to get some blood flow to this area, to the fascia. Put your hips down. And we're going to move to, not going to do a lot of the foam roller today. We're going to move to the waist because it's really hard to get the side of your waist with these small therapy balls. So I'm on my side. I'm bringing my roller. Remember, we're going to shift our hips back. So we've got hips, shoulders, elbow, and you want to support your torso with your elbow that's on the bottom mat. And I'm just going to roll forward and I'm going to roll back. And I'm going to get in my waist here. I'm going to go right up by the edge of my rib cage. So we don't like to roll on bones, but it feels super good to roll on the edge of a bone, right? We're going to work on our scapula a lot today, which is our shoulder bone in the back. And we're going to go along what we call the spine of the scapula. So we're actually going to be looking for the edge of the bone. So when you come down here and you kind of roll forward and you roll back, we're getting these low back spine stabilizing muscles that we're really going to dial into in a minute. You're not going to be able to really, you might be able to get down and if I push with my elbow and pull, I can feel it right along the edge of my hip bone, and that feels good. And I'm going to switch to the other side. Again, we don't need to have a lot of time here. We want to stay off of really nervy areas like our inner elbow or behind our knee. So when you foam roll and you work with your therapy balls, you want to stay off of joints, typically off of bones. It just doesn't feel good. Although I am going to defy that today because we're going to roll on our tailbone. Like I said, I like to go along the edge of the bone where there's a lot of attachments. So I'm just rolling back and forth. My core is engaged. Nice big breaths. And you might notice that when your torso is aimed a little bit up more towards the ceiling, that's that low back part. That's our spine stabilizing muscles, your QL, your quadratus lumborum down there in the back. on either side of the spinal column. And that's where when people say that they have low back pain, they either point lower or they point just to these muscles right here, which can get really tight and really crabby. Okay, let's just do a little bit of stretching now that that's warmed up. So set your foam roller off to the side, and we're just gonna do a little quick stretch. So sit tall, put one ankle in front of the other, but don't stack your ankles, right? So my right foot is in front of my left foot. Okay, good, you guys are ready. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, left hand, right knee. Hold here, push with your right fingers, tuck your chin, you want a nice tall spine here. Look over your right shoulder. Look over your left shoulder. Bring your chin back to center, bring your right arm up, right bicep by the right ear. Inhale here and do a side body bend over to the left. So my spine is straight, I'm reaching really long with my right hand. Knee pulls out, hand pulls in. Slowly rise. Bring your right arm across and lift up your knees so that you can cross here. Tuck your chin, press your knees forward, pull with your hands, pull your rib cage back. Chin to the chest. Slowly release and rise and come right to eagle. Keep that arm underneath there, Sharon. Good. Cross wrap twist. If you can't hold your hands, you hold your shoulders or bring the backs of your palms together. Inhale, lift your elbows. Exhale, tuck and curl. Bring your elbows to your belly button. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back to center. Bring your elbows to the left and look over your right shoulder. So try and have your elbows kind of be in a nice level plane. Shift through center, bring your elbows to the right, look over to the left. Oh yeah, I have a big difference here. And then come back to the center and release your arms down and just walk your fingers forward. Release your chin to your chest and breathe. Walk your fingertips in, hands to the knees. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, this time we twist to the left. Right hand, left knee. My left fingers are pushing and tented behind me because I want a nice straight spine. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale through center, look over your right shoulder. Come through center. Inhale, left arm up, left arm by the left ear, bicep by the ear. Side body bend, keep your chin in line with your sternum, press your left knee out, pull with your right hand, breathe here. Inhale, rise, left hand, right knee, chin to the chest, press your knees forward, pull with your hands, pull your rib cage back, relax your shoulders. Slowly rise, and now we've got our eagle arm wrap on the other side. Inhale, lift your elbows. Exhale, tuck and curl. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back to center. Arms to the right, chin to the left. Give it a little pull. It's okay, we're warmed up here. Come through center. You notice that we start elbows to the left, chin to the right. We always start with dynamic movements. We're not holding any of our stretches. And walk the fingertips forward. We just want to stretch out that other hip. And walk your fingertips in. Okay, awesome. All right, let's just grab our therapy ball, or one ball. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work one side of the spine first. We're gonna start at the top and we're gonna go down to the bottom. And this is where, once we get to the bottom, where a block can really help. Okay, so I love to do this one. This is something that I'm trying to do every single day. This is what we call trap the trap. We're gonna trap the trapezius. So put the ball in your left hand, come to your back, roll to the left, take the ball from your left hand, trap it between your neck and your shoulder bone, your outer part of your shoulder, so that you can take your left finger and you can poke and feel that ball. It's not completely underneath your body, okay? And it's gonna take some shifting around for you to find the right spot. Bring your arms flat, your palms face down.
Sorry. Are you putting the ball on the left side or the right side?
I'm on the right side right now.
Okay, so you moved it over with your left hand.
If you hold it in your left hand and you roll to the left hip, it exposes, it just makes it easier to trap it in there.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we're on the right side. Okay, so our palms are facing down. You're gonna have to arrange where your feet are. You're just gonna lift your feet up into bridge and lower. And you're gonna have to move around. I'm gonna snug myself a little bit over to the right to bring that, I wanna feel pressure in the right spot when I lift and lower here. Now, if you don't have tight neck, you don't have tight upper back, then you might not feel very much here. Let me show you all the different things that you can do here. You lift and lower your hips up into bridge, or you keep your hips down and you lift your arm up, the side that has the ball trapped under it, and you bring the back of the hand to the floor and lower. Slow and controlled with breath. And we stay out of intense pain. We're looking for sensation, but we're not looking for intense pain. Because intense pain isn't going to help us get to where we want to get. Or you can bend your elbow, cactus your arm, and you can either with your hips lifted or your hips down, you can kind of make some funky arm movements, or you can bring your elbow to the mat and bring your hand over. So I'm going to give you guys some time, shift around. So yes, we're on the muscle, but we're also working the superficial fascia, which is what a massage therapist works with the foam roller and the therapy ball do. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to change the chemical makeup of this connective tissue so that it's better able to send all the proper signals to the brain and the spinal column that it needs to, right? Our connective tissue is sending 10 times more communicative signals to the brain and spinal column than our muscles are. So we want to make sure that this is hydrated and glidey and slidey. Okay, so now we're going to work our way down. So that was the very top there. Now we're going to think about the scapula, the shoulder blade, and we're going to go between the edge of the shoulder blade, and there's a channel between the edge of the shoulder blade and the spinal column. I don't want you on your spine, right? You need to be along the edge of the scapula. We're going to work what's called the spine of the scapula. Imagine it's shaped kind of like a seashell, right? And we're going to work from the top edge to the middle edge and down. And there's a bunch of things that you can do here. I like to rest my head in my hands, and I'm just kind of waving my shoulders left and right. So it's really hard. We're basically just cross-fibering the tissue here. So you can do that. You can just rest your head back and reach your arms out, and you can do what we call pin and drape, which is where I found a really, really nice spot here that just could use some love. So dehydrated fascia is very painful and uncomfortable when we go and we hang time, put some time on it with a foam roller or massage therapy or a massage therapist or any kind of a myofascial release tool, right? So what we're doing is we're trying to invite the tissue to spread so that we can hydrate it, right, with fresh oxygenated blood and get anything that might be stuck in there, any chemicals. I'm going to work my way down the scapula. I'm going to go down a couple inches. Now, I'm going to reach a point where I'm not going to be able to rest my head back, okay, because it's just, I just can't do that. I could take a block, and I could put a block behind my head if I didn't want to rest my head in my hands. And I'm rocking right to left. I'm rocking on the spine of that bone and off. And I'm going to keep scooting my hips so that I'm working down and right along the edge of it, and then working that channel. And then when I get a little bit lower on it, I'm putting my head down. I'm at kind of more towards the bottom of my shoulder blade. And most of my weight is on my left hip because I just can't put the weight on my right hip, right? I just feel too much sensation in here. And I'm just gonna kind of move my arm around and see if I can get some movement in here. See if anything is stuck in there. I'm inviting it to release. I'm hoping it's just gonna release. And I'm just using my body to control how much pressure is on there when I rock on and off of it. I keep scooting, I'm almost up to my wall here, and now I'm down at the bottom part of my shoulder blade, and actually this part, you know, and inside there, that it doesn't feel nearly as tight and constricted as the middle part and the upper part. So that's some stuff I definitely have to work on. Okay, so let's take the ball from here, put it in your right hand, and now we're gonna work down below the rib cage, just below your lowest rib, on that long muscle that runs between, on either side of your spinal column, right? So my feet are bent, my knees are bent, my feet are flat, and I don't have my ball on my rib cage. I'm just below the rib cage. Having the ball on your rib cage is not going to feel good here, but I'm going to scoot up until I really feel it. And if I take a deep breath and fill up my diaphragm with air, I'm actually pushing on the ball from the inside. Now I notice that my right glute is kind of constricted and my right quad is a little bit constricted because without even thinking about it, I'm not completely resting on this ball. It would probably be too much pressure. So your body is going to try to, I think, a little bit self-regulate. So you can hang on this, pin and drape, and do big breaths. You can rock your knees from side to side and rock on the ball and off the ball. Let's talk about trigger points. If you hit a certain spot, and let's say you feel like a trail that goes, like you've hit a nerve and it kind of goes down your leg, maybe to your outer part of your knee, or you feel it in your hamstring. When you press on this muscle, you're really not supposed to feel it in any other part of your body. So when those things happen, those are trigger points, and we want to work through those trigger points. This feels good. I'm scooting, you guys. I'm scooting this ball down. I'm getting lower and lower. We do not want to roll on the two little dimples that are in the back of your, in your low back, where your arch of your low back is. That's your SI joint, your sacroiliac joint. We don't roll on joints. So you'll notice that you'll get down there kind of low, and you'll feel the back of the shelf of your pelvis, and it feels good to kind of roll on that. So now and there's more muscle involvement here. You've got your low back muscles that run horizontally in here, and we're starting to get to the top of the glute. So I'm able to get a little bit more range of motion here. I'm rocking my knees a little bit more, and I'm moving that ball out towards my waist, away from my spine and more towards my hip bone. You can roll, you can rock your knees over, you can take that right leg and you can get some movement in there. Once you have the ball trapped, you can kind of open and close your knee and rock on and off of it. And this is probably right around the area, Jennifer, that most people complain about low back pain, this is about where it is. And we're gonna hit one other area that might just be the perfect spot. Okay. So put the ball in your right hand. We're going to move down below the SI joint. We're going to get into the glute, and then the muscles that are, a little bit higher than like your glute med, your main glute muscle there, and the outer part. So put the ball on your right glute muscle, and I'm still just in, knees are bent, feet are flat, and I'm just rolling this ball along my right butt muscle, the gluteus maximus right there, okay? So, I'm kind of going side to side. I can rest my weight down on this ball. I can bring my knee to my chest and kind of move the leg around. And I'm constantly shifting my weight around so that I get the ball into a spot that could really use some release. And nice big breaths. We're just looking for hydrating this tissue and a nice release into the muscles. You can put your left glute down and kind of rock on and off onto this right side. All right, now what we're gonna do is, I want you to bring the ball in to your tailbone. So your tailbone's right in the center there, right in the back of your pelvis. And I like to kind of rock on and off that bone. And I'm gonna go low on it. Kind of low, kind of down by your butt crack, right? And then I'm gonna come up. My tailbone, I have a funky tailbone and I get a lot of tailbone pain when my back is tight. And I have found that rolling around this tailbone for me just feels really good. Then what I'm gonna do is, you guys, I'm gonna make a circle. I'm gonna put that ball right in the center of my tailbone, and I'm gonna make a circle around my tailbone. I'm thinking about going all around the edge of this tailbone. And I'm gonna really focus a lot on the right side, just because we're working right side. And I'm gonna go right over top of it and go over top left to right, a couple passes. To me, that feels really good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And don't go up too high to the low back, because we don't wanna get too close up into that SI joint. Okay, now take your ball and put it in the high part of your glute on the right side, right? So we're gonna work left to right. This is where, if you wanted to, you could put your feet on a block to lift and kind of lower. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come all the way out to the side, shift your hips to the left so that the ball is over to the right. Now I'm gonna drop my hips and I'm gonna bring my butt over to the right, and I'm gonna lift, and I'm gonna go back down, and I'm gonna bring my butt over to the left. So I call this the boot scoot. I'm gonna scoot to the right, I'm gonna get a little lift, I'm gonna drop back into that ball, and I'm gonna scoot over to the right. I love this one. Call it the boot scoot. So you're working the high part of the glute, you can go into the lower part of your glute, you can go a little bit higher. It's just that we've got the bottom of the pelvis here that might get in the way. I'm lifting my hips, there's no pressure at all. I'm down and I'm scooping over. So if we've got low back pain, we've got to work the glutes, because if you've got tight glutes, it's going to pull on your hips and it can give you hip imbalance, right, which is no bueno. Okay. Take your ball out and just rest. How does that feel?
Great.
Yeah, that's a big one. I will demonstrate it with my block. When I'm at my, I don't have a fireplace here with a mantle, but when we're at our ski condo, I do this before I go skiing, and I put my feet up on the hearth of the fireplace. And much to my family's disappointment, I roll right there in front of everybody, with the hopes that maybe they'll get inspired and do it with me. Okay, ball in your right hand, roll your right hip. We're gonna go to the left side. We're gonna start with trap the upper trapezius, trap the trap. Oh, I'm tighter on this side. Okay. Connect back into your breath. Look down your body every once in a while. Make sure you're in a straight line. Now I'm gonna lift and lower my hips, and this is where I dial in, and I find that spot where I'm actually feeling a sensation. You wanna work and cruise around. Remember, we call ourselves sensation detectives here. I'm looking for a spot that needs some love. I mean, it's perfectly fine just to roll, and you don't have to do that, but I figure more bang for the buck, right? And I'm gonna lift my arm up and bring it back and down. Funky robot arms. And And then the real kicker is lifting your hips and lifting your arm at the same time, and then coming down. We've got that forward head posture thing going on with pretty much everybody working on the computer, holding phones, holding iPads, looking at books. Even if you're doing a puzzle, right? You're leaning forward, your arms are forward, driving. So this is really good because it's going to help these muscles back here that are just completely overworked and super, super tight. Okay, now I'm going to start working my way down the spine of the scapula, right? So I'm going to get my ball under there, and I'm going to start at the top of my shoulder blade. Now I can't reach back and I can't feel it at all, right? It's really trapped in there. And I'm going to rock on and off. I'm not really feeling a whole lot on this side, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time. I'm going to cross fiber, and I'm going to go left to right, down the spine, down the shoulder, the edge of the scapula. Remember, we're between the scapula and the spinal column. We never roll on the spinal column, right? And I'm going to come down. Okay, now I'm feeling it. All right, now I found a spot, and I'm going to spend some time here. I'm just going to rest back. I'm going to regulate how much pressure I have on this ball. I'm just going to pin and drape right here. I feel a little bit of a sensation going down my left arm. We're going to call that the trigger point, okay? And when I push on the back of that shoulder blade right there, and I did it on the right side, I didn't have any sensation down my right arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock off of that so that that sensation goes away, and then I'm going to rock back on until I just feel the sensation. Till I just feel it start to go down my arm, and I'm going to breathe here until I feel it release, and I'm going to do that again. I'm going to come off of it completely. I'm going to try and recreate that trigger point. There it is. I'm going to rest, and I'm going to breathe through it. And I'm going to do that until I can't recreate that trigger point, which is just the nerve sensation going down the wrong pathway, going down the wrong nerve pathway. It's just retraining the nerve in that little spot. It's just like a little impingement or a little entrapment, and we're just trying to go get in there and say, okay, get out of there. I'm working my way down my shoulder blade. I'm not feeling a whole lot on this side, so I'm going to make my way all the way down. And then once I'm done, I'm going to pick up my ball. You guys can stay right where you are if you need it. I'm going to go below my lowest rib in the center of that left quadrant of my back, and I'm going to work my way down. I like to lift my hips and do like the little boot scoot movement. I'm just kind of going back and forth. So those muscles, those big muscles, that big muscle that goes on either side of your spinal column, the spine stabilizing muscles, they run north and south. So what I want you to do is I want you to work the muscle fibers east to west. You can do it by rocking your shoulders. You can do it by shifting your knees left to right. And I'm working my way down. Is our whole hour today going to be on this single ball on our back? You know, it seriously could be. It's just crazy how good this feels, right? I'm going to come down. My left side doesn't feel anywhere near like my right side did. So I'm going to come and I'm going to go down and I'm going to start my boot scoot. I'm going to get, because I want to I'm going to work my glute, and then I'm going to come in towards my tailbone. Because for me, working the outer side of this tailbone feels really, really good. I have this funky tailbone that kind of sticks out. It's very prominent. I think maybe I had a tail. It's like literally like a tail. But it's really uncomfortable. Like if I go to do sit-ups and stuff like that, or you're doing like a crunch where you're, or some kind of an abdominal exercise where you're leaning back, it's very, very painful for me. I always have to like pad it up and do all kinds of stuff. And when my hips get out of alignment, it becomes even worse. So it feels very good for me to roll on the edge of my tailbone, but I'm not doing the top edge because that's too close to the area of the pelvis that we just don't want to roll. And now I'm going to do my boot scoop, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. All I would be doing is putting my feet on a block and lifting up my hips, and it gives you a little bit more leverage to control and dial in to that. It gives you a little bit more leverage to control how much pressure you put on. You can kind of chug your hips and your knees, kind of chug your hips down from the right to the left. You can sway your left knee up and out and open and close. Get in and out towards your hip bone, the outer glute. We did a lot of outer glute and exercise in the, I do like a mat Pilates class on Monday, and we did a lot of outer glute yesterday. Glute need work. Everybody needs it. It's so good for hip stability. It's just an area that we just don't strengthen very much. Move around. Oh, okay. Keep going. I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes because I can hear the moaning and the groaning, and it feels really good. It sounds really good. No, it's good. That's what I want to hear. I like it. It's different if you're kind of moaning and groaning because you're in pain versus the moan and groan that I hear when I teach, and I hear people just like, this is the spot, like, I got it, right? That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. It's exactly what I want to hear. Don't forget your little, I call it the boot scoop. I have stupid names for things, but if you work with me long enough and I say, hey guys, let's boot scoop, then you're gonna know exactly what it is that I was talking about. Yeah, it's good stuff. When you're done, when you're ready, I'm gonna give you guys about a minute more. Just come off of your ball, chill out, and we're gonna move on to some nice long holds. Just kind of rest and reassess. See how it feels. Hopefully things are feeling more open. You've got lots of activity, right? You can really feel the blood flowing and moving through the hips. That's a good thing. Bend your knees, roll over to one side, come on up. We're gonna do, we're gonna floss our child's pose. So, because I like what it does when we go to the side, and then we're gonna do some long holds. Can you hear Yoda? She's right outside the door. I locked her out. She's very unhappy. Okay, knees are wide, big toes touch, elbows are underneath the shoulders, palms are flat, forearms are parallel. Push your elbows down, drag them towards your knees. Round your shoulders forward like you're in cat pose, but keep your chin away from your chest. And then rock back. Back and forth, nice and fluid. Okay, now I really want to take advantage of the area that we just warmed up. So bring your elbows over to the right and come down. And I want you to think about shifting your left hip towards your left heel. My toes are curled under. Every opportunity that I can stretch the plantar fascia, stretch the fascia in the bottoms of the feet, I am all for it. And I really feel this. I'm pulling my left elbow down, I'm dragging my left hip back, and I feel that low back area on the left. Now come over to the left. Now we're gonna hit that low back and that whole side body on the right. Starting position, push your elbows down, drag that right elbow towards the right knee. And come back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so untuck your toes. We're gonna do a 2 minutes in child's pose. And it sounds really easy, but child's pose is really great for the low back. I'm gonna give you 2 options here. You can take your bolster if you want, and you can take your bolster and put it right in here, in between your inner thighs, and you can rest down. And you can come down onto your bolster, or you're just going to bring your forehead down onto the mat, and you're going to sink here and just settle. You can bring your bolster or a block to your forehead if you're tight and you can't quite make it down. Now we're going to breathe in and we're going to double the length of our exhales. It doesn't have to be exact, but I want you to have an exaggerated exhale here. We want to stretch our muscles in a static hold with a relaxed muscle. So relaxed muscles stretch better than engaged and working muscles, right? Now for the next minute, what I want you guys to do is come to your elbows, lift up a little bit. I want you to bring your knees together. You still have the tops of your feet on the mat. I want you to bring your hands back, palms face up, and bring your forehead down to the mat. And this is embryo pose. This is a very deep low back stretch. And with every exhale, I want you to feel your hips release and your low back release. Sometimes I take my fingers and I weave them underneath my pinky toe and just to kind of hold on. And your hips are going to get heavier and heavier with each breath. You always have the option in yoga class to come to embryo instead of child's pose, especially if you're working on keeping your low back open or you have a propensity for your low back to tighten up. All right, bring your hands to the mat. Slowly press yourself up. We're just going to sit here and close our eyes and rest our hands on our quads and just rest before we go and do the next thing. Okay, bring your knees wide again and come to your child's pose position, but take your left arm and weave it under your body and bring your right arm on top. So you're in child's pose, your palms are stacked, but not really because your right arm is going to be longer than your left arm here. But you can scoot your shoulder over. Your left ear is on the mat. If you're uncomfortable, you can take your bolster and bring it over, and you can put your head on your bolster. That's going to change it significantly. So we just introduced a spinal twist to your child's pose. You can scoot that bottom arm over and make sure the arm is an extension of your shoulder, so we're always trying to be in proper alignment, especially when we hold poses for a long period of time. You want to train the body in good, proper alignment. So you're in a spinal twist, and you're twisting your lower back on your left side. Try to relax your left shoulder. Now you're going to stay here, or you're going to bring your right hand behind up onto your low back, or maybe your right fingers can sneak over to the hip crease, over in your left hip crease. And now we're bringing a shoulder stretch into, you're in internal rotation on the right side. We're bringing a shoulder stretch in to our spinal twist. It's a bit different, huh? If it's too much, just bring your hand to your right glute. Where you sneak your hand a little bit over towards your left hip. All right, release your right hand, bring it down to the mat. Press through your right hand, unweave your left arm. Come to a kneeling or seated position. Rest your palms face up, close your eyes, and you should feel quite the sensation down the left arm. It doesn't look like much, but it sure can feel it. All right, let's go to the other side. We started with a child's pose. Actually, we'll just do a little bit of child's pose and then we'll move right into our twist. So, arms are extended, knees are wide, big toes touch, forehead is on the mat. This time, do something a little bit different. Maybe scoot the hands a little bit further. Exhale through your armpits. I know that sounds weird, but it works. Feel your belly rise in between your wide legs. Everything expands on the inhale. Your ribs expand. Back of your body expands. The sides expand. All right, walk your elbows in. Bring your knees together. Embryo, forehead down. Reach back towards your pinky toes. I like to track my fingers underneath my toes. Forehead is on the mat. Hips to heels. Your breath is like your song. You're singing yourself your little song. You really feel your inhales here because our belly is right on our thighs. All right, bring your hands down to the mat. Press yourself up. Find those wide knees again. We're going to weave the right arm under as an extension of our shoulder. Right ear to the mat, and the left arm is right on top. So now we're in our spinal twist. If you really want to feel what we're doing here, bring your left fingers to the mat and push and start to look up over your left shoulder a little bit. You'll feel this in your low back on the right side. Then you can stay in this a little bit more twisted position, or just rest one arm on one hand on top of the other. My fingertips of my right hand are kind of on the base of my palm of my left hand. And you want to encourage more of the back of your right shoulder on the mat. So we've introduced a spinal twist into our child's pose. This is low back, and especially we're getting into our waist on the right side. And breathe here. Nice big breaths. We sink and settle with every breath. Your option to bring a shoulder stretch in is that you pick up your left arm, your left hand. You can trap it in between your hip crease over on the right and just rest the back of your hand and the back of your wrist on your low back. Or maybe if you don't have as much rotation here, internal rotation like I didn't on the other side, I'm just going to rest my back of my flat hand on my low back, either on my left glute or my right glute. But this side I'm more open on, so I'm going to go into a bind and bind that hand into that hip crease. So we've introduced a shoulder stretch to our spinal stretch and our low back stretch. You hear my cat out there? She's relentless. She's like a stage 10 clinger. She wants to be with me all the time. Sorry about that. Keep going. Keep breathing. You can always use your bolster. Okay, slowly release. Press yourself all the way up. Swing your legs around and come on onto your back. Let's just bring legs up the wall. And dorsal and plantar flex, toes to the nose, toes to the sky. And bring your hands behind your hamstrings and just kind of release your legs away from you and sort of pull with your hands so that you can just kind of rest here. I like to kind of rock back and forth from my right hip to my left hip. And just hang out here. Our knees have been bent for a long time. Hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Roll over to one side and press yourself up. Okay, we're going to do Jani Shirsasana, but not with too long of a hold because we're going to start running out of time. Every time I get into that single ball work on the back, it's kind of consuming. I just love it. I think it's great. Okay. Left foot to the right inner thigh. Right leg is extended. You're going to bend your right knee, bring your elbow inside your knee, take peace fingers, palm facing to the left, and you're going to grab onto your big toe. Okay. Now from here, you're going to extend your leg out. You're going to extend your right heel out until it feels comfortable. Some people leg might be all the way straight. Bring your left hand behind your head. So what I want you to do is I want you to pull your knee to the left and your elbow to the right you should feel your low back here kind of open, start to engage. And we want to keep this knee right here. So we've got elbow, knee, hip. I don't want your knee out to the side. That's why we're pulling the knee to the left. I'm pushing with my big toe, pulling with my peace fingers. I'm going to open to the left with my elbow and my gaze, and I'm going to close it off and bring my elbow down towards my inner right knee. And I'm going to open, push, pull. You should feel this on your low back on your left side, and then you're going to close it off. And you're going to inhale, open, and exhale, close. We're doing our resistance stretching. One more time, inhale, open, and exhale, close. Now we're going to hold this stretch. Grab your block. Sorry, I should have had you grab your block before. We're going to put the block on the inside of the right knee, and bring your right hand to the mat. And you're going to reach forward and rest your elbow on the block and bring your right hand to your shin, your outer calf, your ankle. Maybe you grab onto the, you don't have to use the block. You can bring your hand to the pinky edge of your right foot. Your knee can be bent here as much as you need it to be. It's fine. What I want you to be able to do is I need you to be holding somewhere on the outer part of this right leg. Because what we're going to do is we're going to bend the left elbow, or you're going to release your toes away from you to pull on this left arm. And I want you to feel the stretch on your low back and all down that area that we worked down the left side. Push with your big toe. Don't open up your arch there, right? Pull your big toe away from you and your pinky toe towards you. And my right hand is tented and it's just kind of pushing with my fingertips. Or you can rest, you can totally use your block. And my left shoulder is kind of reaching towards my right pinky toe. All right, let's come up and let's switch sides. Left leg is, so we can do this nice deep stretch now because we're totally ready for this, right? We've done everything we possibly can do to prepare our body for a nice deep stretch here. Sole of the right foot, inner left thigh. Bend your left knee. Heel is on the mat, left elbow inside the left knee, peace fingers grab onto the big toe. I'm pushing and pulling. I got a little resistance going down here. I've got resistance going between the knee and the elbow. Right hand, right ear. How extended your leg is how much you're going to feel this. Inhale, open, exhale, close. And then inhale, open. See if you can keep your right knee towards the mat. See if you can scoot your left heel a little bit further away. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. All right, and then we're going to hold on to this stretch, this Janu Shirsasana. So I like to start with that block there just to kind of help me come forward and get into position. My left fingers are going to kind of push from behind. My right shoulder is aiming towards my left pinky toe. I'm going to bend my left knee. I like to grab the pinky edge of the foot. Just because when I push my toes away from me and it pulls on my arm, I feel it more directly in my low back on the right side. I like this stretch. This is hard because we've introduced hamstrings and, you know, we've introduced a lot more calf flexibility. We've introduced a lot more things here. We're not just isolating the low back, but it's a nice stretch here. Push with the big toe, pull with your pinky toe. And if you bend that elbow when you pull, you're going to feel more down the low back on the right side. One more breath here. And then release. All right, set your block off to the side, come onto your back. Do whatever feels good, we're done. You can rock from side to side. You can hug your knees into your chest and just sit and relax. So what I'm doing, you guys, is I'm just trying to give you tools for your toolbox. Every time you want to go and work your low back or you're trying to do something, I'm not expecting you to do an hour's worth of work. These classes are just to give you tools and show you what you can do to work on those particular areas. So maybe you'll, like I'll be traveling in a couple of weeks and I'm definitely gonna bring my ball. It's all I'm gonna bring with me when I go on vacation. I can do everything that I need to do with just one ball, or I'll bring that dual ball. And I might not have time to do all the other stuff, but at least I know I can spot treat. That's kind of what we want to do to avoid and preempt, all these issues that we might have chronic issues with. So, does everybody feel good?